When we think of samurai, our minds often jump to dramatic portrayals in movies. Fierce warriors locked in epic battles, swords gleaming under the sun, and ancient codes of honor guiding their every move. But the samurai in real life were far more than just warriors. They were scholars, politicians, artists, and philosophers. Their true philosophy goes beyond the action-packed depictions we're used to seeing. It's about self-discipline, inner peace, and a profound connection to life's deeper truths. In this video, we are diving deep into the untold, real-life lessons of samurai. Lessons that can change the way we live, work, and perceive the world. These lessons are not just for history buffs, but for anyone looking for wisdom in navigating the chaos of the modern world. So stay with us till the end, as we explore these valuable life lessons from the samurai. The way of the samurai, a life of purpose. The samurai were born in a time of constant warfare, where every day could be their last. Yet even in the midst of this brutality, the samurai found meaning beyond the sword. They believed in living a life with purpose, something that transcends just fighting for fighting's sake. They were trained to be prepared for death at any moment, which paradoxically helped them cherish life itself. This mindset is something we can all learn from. In our world where it's easy to get caught up in the rush of our daily tasks, it's vital to remember that we're not just here to go through the motions. Like the samurai, we must find purpose in our actions, whether that's in our careers, relationships, or personal growth. The samurai taught that every day could be your last, so live intentionally, with focus and with passion, embracing change and impermanence. One of the samurai's most profound lessons comes from the concept of mujo, the understanding of impermanence. They were acutely aware that everything in life is temporary, from the beauty of a cherry blossom to the fleeting moments of peace between battles. This understanding allowed them to remain grounded, resilient, and focused, even in the face of adversity. In our modern lives, we are often chasing things that we think will last forever. Success, wealth, relationships. But the samurai remind us that nothing is permanent. Change is the only constant, and instead of fearing it, we must learn to accept and embrace it. This acceptance helps us approach life's ups and downs with grace, and it prevents us from becoming too attached to things that, ultimately, we cannot control. In learning to embrace the impermanence of all things, we find freedom. We can move through life with ease, without the weight of holding on to something that was never meant to stay. The spirit of Bushido, the way of the warrior. Another central aspect of the samurai's philosophy was Bushido, the code of conduct that governed every samurai's life. Bushido is often translated as the way of the warrior, and it emphasized virtues like loyalty, courage, respect, honor, and honesty. But what makes Bushido stand out is not just the ideals themselves, but the way the samurai embodied them. For instance, loyalty was a cornerstone of samurai life. They were fiercely loyal to their masters and their families, but loyalty wasn't just a blind obedience. It was rooted in a sense of duty and honor. This sense of duty extended beyond their martial lives. Samurai were expected to demonstrate honor in all aspects of their life, whether in battle, in public life, or in personal relationships. In today's world, we often hear about the importance of integrity and loyalty, but few of us truly live by them with the level of consistency the samurai did. Whether we're interacting with colleagues or friends, showing respect, and demonstrating unwavering loyalty to the values we believe in is essential. We can learn from the samurai's commitment to honor not just in words but in actions. Mental discipline, the art of focus. Perhaps one of the most underrated lessons from the samurai is the importance of mental discipline. We often associate samurai with martial arts and sword fighting, but what truly set them apart was their ability to maintain clarity and focus in the most chaotic and life-threatening situations. They practiced zazen, a form of seated meditation, and spent countless hours training their minds just as rigorously as their bodies. This mental discipline allowed them to remain calm and focused in battle, making life or death decisions with precision and ease. It wasn't just about being physically strong. It was about having a mind that could remain calm under pressure, think clearly, and act decisively. In our own lives, how often do we allow ourselves to be swept up in the chaos? We often have to juggle multiple tasks, meet deadlines, and manage distractions that keep us from truly focusing on what matters. The samurai's mental discipline teaches us the importance of mindfulness. By training ourselves to stay present in the moment, to breathe, to focus, we can navigate our daily challenges with the same clarity and precision that a samurai would in battle. The importance of self-mastery. Self-mastery was at the core of the samurai's existence. They understood that to be truly free, one must first conquer the self, its desires, its fears, its weaknesses. The samurai didn't seek external accolades or fame, they sought the mastery of their inner world. A samurai would often meditate on their emotions, confronting anger, fear, and sadness head-on instead of avoiding them. They believed that true strength was in understanding one's own mind and emotions. This allowed them to stay disciplined, to control their impulses, and to act not out of reaction, but out of conscious choice. In the modern world, it's easy to get caught up in the emotional highs and lows that come with our daily lives. But the samurai's approach to self-mastery offers a different path, one where we take responsibility for our emotions, learn to control them, and don't allow ourselves to be ruled by them. Through this practice of self-mastery, we unlock true freedom. We become empowered to make decisions that align with our values, rather than our immediate impulses. Patience and perseverance. The samurai didn't rush. They understood that mastery, whether in the art of sword fighting or in life itself, takes time. They practiced relentlessly, knowing that true skill and wisdom weren't earned in a single moment of glory, but over the course of years of consistent, patient effort. The concept of perseverance is key in the samurai tradition. They would often face seemingly insurmountable challenges, but their ability to persist and push forward in the face of adversity was one of their most defining qualities. This ability to endure hardship without giving up is something we can all learn from, especially in today's fast-paced world where we often seek instant results. Whether it's pursuing a long-term goal, navigating a difficult relationship, or overcoming personal challenges, the samurai remind us that the path to success and fulfillment is not always linear. It requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to keeping our focus on the long-term outcome. Till now, we explored the foundational principles and life lessons that the real samurai lived by. We discussed their understanding of impermanence, their commitment to mental discipline, their deep sense of honor, and how they embraced patience and self-mastery. But there's so much more to the way the samurai lived. So in the remaining part of this video, we'll dive even deeper into their philosophy and the powerful life lessons we can apply today. Death, a constant companion. One of the most profound aspects of a samurai's life was their relationship with death. From a young age, samurai were trained to view death not as something to fear, but as a constant companion. The idea was not to glorify death or seek it out, but to accept its inevitability and live fully in its presence. This understanding shaped every aspect of their philosophy, from their actions in battle to their approach to relationships and personal growth. In fact, many samurai meditated on death regularly. They understood that it was only through accepting the certainty of death that one could truly appreciate the fleeting nature of life. The idea was to live without regret, to make every moment count, and to not fear the end, but to embrace the journey toward it. This perspective on death is something we often shy away from in modern society. We're trained to fear the unknown and try to extend our lives at any cost. However, embracing the reality of mortality, much like the samurai, allows us to live more intentionally, free from the fear of what comes next. We learn to appreciate each moment, to let go of petty worries, and to focus on what really matters. Living with honor, the power of integrity. As we mentioned in the first part of this video, honor was at the core of samurai life. However, it's important to understand that for the samurai, honor wasn't just about adhering to a strict set of principles. It was about living a life of integrity, being true to oneself and standing by one's word, even when it was difficult. The samurai believed that one's honor was not something that could be taken or granted. It had to be earned, and more importantly, it had to be protected at all costs. A samurai who lost their honor had lost everything. This was why in extreme cases they would practice seppuku, ritual suicide, to restore their honor if it had been compromised in battle or dishonorable acts. While this may seem extreme, it underscores how deeply they valued integrity and the preservation of their personal code. In today's world, honor is often overshadowed by other values, such as wealth or status. However, true honor is not about superficial achievements or public recognition. It's about consistency in our actions, the way we treat others, and the way we honor our commitments. Whether in business or personal relationships, the samurai remind us that living with integrity is a powerful foundation for a meaningful life. When we stand by our word, when we act with honesty, we build trust and respect, things far more valuable than any material gain. Mastering the art of conflict, nonviolence, and wisdom. While samurai were known for their combat skills and martial prowess, they were also adept at resolving conflicts without violence. This may seem counterintuitive given their warrior status, but the samurai philosophy encouraged finding peace through wisdom before resorting to the sword. The art of battle was not just about defeating an enemy, it was about understanding the deeper causes of conflict and seeking resolution whenever possible. The famous samurai strategist Miyamoto Musashi, for example, wrote extensively about the importance of avoiding conflict when possible. His book, The Book of Five Rings, doesn't just focus on sword-fighting techniques but on the mental and strategic aspects of life. He emphasized that the true warrior should only fight when absolutely necessary, using intelligence and strategy to avoid needless bloodshed. This lesson is incredibly relevant in today's world. We often face conflict, whether at work, in our relationships, or even within ourselves. The samurai teach us that the highest form of strength lies in the ability to remain calm, assess situations with wisdom, and choose the path of nonviolence when possible. Resolving conflicts with diplomacy and understanding not only saves us from unnecessary pain, but also leads to greater peace and harmony in our lives. The power of simplicity, finding joy in the small things. The samurai lived in a world of war and strife, but they also understood the power of simplicity and finding beauty in the small, quiet moments of life. Many samurai were not only warriors but also poets, painters, and tea masters. The practice of the Japanese tea ceremony, for instance, was a deeply meditative ritual that celebrated the simplicity of life and nature. It was a way of appreciating the present moment and finding joy in the everyday, rather than constantly seeking more. This sense of simplicity extended to their everyday lives. The samurai valued practicality, and their clothing, for example, was simple and functional. Their homes were minimalistic and uncluttered, reflecting their belief in the importance of a focused mind. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by distractions and the pursuit of more possessions, more achievements, more recognition, the samurai remind us to find peace in simplicity. Whether it's in the stillness of a quiet morning, the simplicity of a home-cooked meal, or the beauty of nature, there is profound wisdom in learning to appreciate the small things. By cultivating this appreciation, we can find lasting fulfillment rather than chasing after fleeting desires. Learning from failure, the samurai's approach to setbacks. The samurai didn't just live by their victories, they also understood the importance of failure. In a world of constant conflict and battle, failure was an inevitable part of their existence. However, the samurai viewed failure not as something to fear or avoid, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. The concept of resilience was deeply embedded in samurai culture. After a defeat in battle, a samurai would reflect on their actions, analyze their mistakes, and improve their strategies. Failure, they believed, was not the end but a valuable teacher. They often spoke about the importance of humility and perseverance in the face of setbacks. This lesson is especially important for us today. In a culture obsessed with success, it can be hard to accept failure. But the samurai teach us that failure is not a reflection of our worth, it is simply part of the journey toward mastery. By embracing our mistakes, learning from them, and persisting, we move closer to becoming the best versions of ourselves. Legacy, living for future generations. Lastly, the samurai lived not only for themselves, but for future generations. They believed in leaving behind a legacy that would honor their ancestors and benefit society. This was reflected in their commitment to cultivating a strong character, serving their communities, and passing down knowledge and wisdom to those who came after them. The idea of legacy is one that often gets lost in the modern pursuit of immediate gratification. But the samurai remind us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. Our actions today, the choices we make, and the way we treat others will shape the world for those who come after us. Living with the awareness that we are leaving a mark on the future helps us make decisions that are not just self-serving, but contribute to the greater good. Conclusion. The real-life lessons of the samurai extend far beyond the sword. Their wisdom about honor, resilience, mental discipline, and simplicity holds timeless value. By incorporating these principles into our own lives, we can navigate the challenges of the modern world with strength, grace, and purpose. So the next time you face a difficult moment, remember the samurai. Reflect on their wisdom and let it guide you through life's battles, whether they're on the battlefield or within your own mind. The samurai's way of living is not just an ancient tradition, but a timeless philosophy that can help us find meaning, peace, and fulfillment in our everyday lives. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from these powerful life lessons.